We'd like to thank our viewers for tuning in with us again this week, and we've got another special guest here with us. Tonight we got Brother Terry Fowler. He's a plural member of our lodge, but I'll let him go. We'll get right into it, and I'll let him introduce himself and give you like a rundown of what he's involved in, and we'll go from there. Brother Terry?
Well, my name is Terry Fowler. I'm a 52-year Master Mason. My father was a Master Mason. My son and several of my grandchildren are Masons. I'm a past Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of the state of Louisiana. Growing up, usually people will look at some individual and notice that there's something different about him. There's a genuineness, there's a kindness, or something of that sort, and that's what draws them to become a Mason, a Freemason. That's not the case in mine. As a young child, wearing cotton breeches, I'm talking about, 2 or 3 years old, standing in front of what we called a space heater, which was a gas heater, on a cold, wet winter night. I heard a knock at the door. And my mother went to the door and she opened it, and there was a gentleman standing there, with a coat and tie, white shirt, and he told her, says, "Mrs. Fowler," says, and he gave his name, which I don't remember, and he says, "I'm from Calcasieu Lodge 400, and the members wanted me to deliver this envelope, and in memory of your deceased husband." And she thanked him and all, and he shut the door. And I remember asking the question, "Mama, who was that?" He says, "That's one of your father's lodge brothers." And he just wanted us to know that they still remembered him. And my father had passed away a few months before I was born. And what had happened was the lodge brothers had picked up a love offering for the family of a deceased brother. From that moment on, I wanted to be like that man wearing the black coat, black tie, and white shirt with the white envelope that he went to a widow's house to help. And as soon as I was old enough to be a Mason, I petitioned. And I asked the lodge to consider me. And when the petition was turned in, I was a little bit young, but I warned them and said, "Don't do this until April the 20th, because that's my birthday." And then, but I got in and I worked hard. Masonry it's a philosophy, it's a way of life. Robert E. Lee, the general, was not a Mason, but someone asked him about Masonry. He says, it's a philosophy, it's a way of life. It's a good thing. Of course, Robert E. Lee was being sent all over the country, and was a warrior, a general, and he never petitioned, but his father was, and his grandfather was. We're all Masons, and it's basic premise is the fatherhood of God, the brotherhood of man, the immortality of the soul, and the basic tenets is friendship, morality, and brotherly love, and it's the largest fraternity of men in the world, and it's the largest fraternity of God-fearing men. An atheist cannot be a Mason. And my brothers, I am sorry, you started me talking. I haven't stopped, but I'd rather answer questions and articulate.
You're doing great. I was thinking, man, this is gonna be easy. But interesting. I was getting right into it. You could have just kept on flowing. But since joining Masonry, what's some of your accolades of Masonry? Like what positions you served in, opinion bodies you've been in?
I've been in so many. The greatest honor is whenever I walk into a lodge, they just say Brother Terry or Brother Fowler, and but that's my greatest honor, and know that when I walk in there, I'm among friends and brethren. being Grand Master, I guess, is the highest honor. And as a Grand Master, I felt like I was a benevolent master. I'd served the different lodges and the brotherhood. On the other hand, sometimes you have to be, tough. You got to discipline. And if there was someone that was misbehaving, I'm talking about serious. You react as the need arises. But sometimes I've had to set some Masons off to the side because of misbehavior, or even expelled from the fraternity. We police our own. Of course, that doesn't mean that the state can't do it if something's really bad. But if a brother is not following the basic premise of friendship, morality, and brotherly love, or whatever, then we have to remind them and take what is necessary. But I served with kindness and love, but whenever I needed to use a big stick, I did.
Yeah.
And it turned out good. We're growing, and I see a peace among the brotherhood, and we react. Sam Todd Lodge has helped people that weren't Masons, just members of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Up in Sladen area, the lodge there, KBI or KBU lodge. They help the whole community, and so does Sam Todd and my home lodge, where I was raised, Magnolia Lodge, has done that, and throughout the Louisiana, really.
Yeah.
You said we were growing, Brother Terry. Somebody said Saturday at our stated meeting that if you look at the statistics of the decline of Masonry, by 2040, we wouldn't be around no more.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I see growth. Now, we were, losing, but there's members. And it's flowed like that, the ebbs and tides for over 100 years, whatever. But there's an uptick. After 1945, when our uncles and fathers and grandfathers came back from World War II, there was a great influx of Masons petitions, and we really grew. During my years, which was the Vietnam era, there was anti-everything, any kind of don't join anything. And I was, out of the ordinary. A lot of them dropped off. They just didn't want to join. They didn't want to belong. But I see a difference. I see young people coming in. I think we're growing. We're slowly growing, and we're going to see it grow. I said in Lake Charles 165 on Taji Street just the other night, they had 4 new petitions, or 5, I think it was 5 petitions, for membership. So I believe, by nature, I'm a positive person. I think we're growing. I know y'all convert and agree, bringing in new people, is too. So I think there's an uptick. Now we're losing a lot of our older members, people 90s or approaching 100 or whatever. We're losing them, but we're bringing in a lot of young people.
How do you think we retain those young people once they get their EA and their telegram, to keep them interested until they...
You got to get them involved. An example of that was my lodge. My daddy didn't belong there. He had passed away. They just put me to work, and I was made active. We got to get them involved. If you just bring them in, and okay, he's a master mason now. That's it. Get out of the way. Let's do this. You got to get them involved. Instead of saying, get out of the way, I need you to do this. Can you do this? They made me the person that washed the dishes and worked the table or the room, whatever. And I was happy to do it. And I didn't miss meetings until I left to go to school in New Orleans. Uh, and then when I came back, I was very building my law practice. Then I got back, and I'm happier when I'm with my brethren.
So how'd you come about getting in the Grand Line, Grand Line?
I was noticed. You don't solicit. I've never solicited anything. I didn't solicit to become master of my lodge. I didn't solicit to be. But they noticed me, and they asked me, "What do you think I could do to give back?" I was going to do it, and then there was some conflict uh, going on. That's when I say conflict. Some of the older Masons, you know, would have disagreements and things like that, and I really didn't want to be a part of that argument. I wanted peace and harmony, so I worked toward that. And then, as my mother said, sometimes you have to crack a few eggs to make an omelet. So, well, I got it going together, and I think by the time I finished, we were united, and for the most part, and moving forward. And I see peace and harmony ever since I've left.
I know when you were Grand Master, you're a member there at Sam Todd, and a lot of us younger ones, we don't remember Brother Thomas Pittman or Brother Howard Sidger, who were both Grand Masters and members of Sam Todd. So it was a thrill for us when we got to have your Grand Master's homecoming that night.
Oh, I love that. That was so.
We had a blast.
One of the greatest moments of my journey. During the Grand Master, it was a heavy thunderstorm. You were going to be wet when you got there. You had to be because it's the rainstorm and everything. But we, as my mother would call it, chock-a block in that room.
Yeah, I didn't know if they were all in the pit.
But it was a great night for Freemasonry.
Oh yeah, for sure. And besides masonry, you sat on the board of governors for an appended body.
Yeah, for the Shriners, the Shreveport Shriners for children. There's hospitals and clinics, all over the country, and one of the best ones. And I'm not saying that because I'm a member of that board, but I'm saying it because as a member of that board, I see what's going on, and we're treating so many children. We do over 1,000 surgeries a year, surgeries that are necessary and at no cost for the family, and it would be be crippling unless they had very good.
What do we handle at the one in Shreveport?
Do what?
What kind of surgery do they do at the one?
Well, it's orthopedic. There's back, there facial malocclusion, like cleft lip and palate. There's back surgeries. Broken legs. There's so much is done there, and then rehab also. We do a lot of rehabilitation, orthopedic rehabilitation. I've been on that board for at least 7.5 years, almost 8, I believe, and I've seen a lot of children come through in wheelchairs, crutches. A lot of situations that usually break your heart. Just seeing young children having to suffer with that. But I've never seen a child with a tear or anything. They not only fix the body, that they also psychologically assist and calm the child. And we do great work. I dare say it's one of the top 3 in the country, that facility right there. We got some great physicians there. We got great assistants. We have a great facility. And there's talk of building a new facility. And so we've moved from the old one to the new one, but which may or may not happen. But we're doing great work where we are. If we go to the new facility, and if it's built, well, we'll do great work there. It's something to be very proud of. They do this work for the child and the families at no cost, absolutely no cost to the child or the family. They do the surgery. If they need transportation, if they need hotel, they need to be fed. We do it all, and that's what the purpose of the local shrine temples like Habibi and Lake Charles, where we are right now. If you have a child that needs care, and the simple thing to do is to call the hospital and ask, are we able to help in that? And probably work. If it's orthopedic, if it's back, neurological, facial malocclusion, we can do it. I believe that I know we can do it. Just call the Habibi. We'll arrange for the transportation if it's necessary, or to fund you some money for the trip. The hospital will provide care, whether it's X-rays or whatever. There's doctors that are going to be there, highly qualified doctors. Some of the world's best will be there, and they'll diagnose, recommend what needs to be done, if anything. Maybe just rehab, and we've got tremendous rehab facilities, rehab, coordinators, and we can get that done too. It's something I take pride in, and it's part of the Masonic, group, that, and I'm proud of it.
I know I had a niece when she was younger. I'm not sure what it was she had, because we was living in Kentucky at the time, and my sister was still down here. But Shriners Hospital there in Shreveport helped her out with that. I know she had to have braces on her legs for a while, and that's how it was. They talked about the great care that they got, and one time they were coming out of their pocket for it, and she was able to walk afterwards.
That's the Shriners have one philanthropy, and that is the hospital. And another thing that I didn't mention earlier is for the burns in a little community, DeQuincy, Louisiana. A child was burned, and it's a wonder she survived. And we did so many surgeries there, and thank God, if that child had come through life so disfigured, but they did amazing work. And again, it was a series of millions of dollars of what it would have cost. The family would have had to pay for that. About 20 years ago, there was another fire here in Lake Charles, and a young child received burns in the hospital. Here, said we need to go to the Shriners Hospital. So Habibi then purchased a private flight from Lake Charles to Galveston, which is the burn unit that we have. And it was $12,000. Now I've been $112,000 more. But we flew the child there. Upon arrival, the child had already passed away. But that was the child's last best chance. And we don't regret the effort. We just regret we lost him.
How many hospitals are there, Brother Terry?
The last count is about 21, 22. But then there's clinics. Like there's a clinic in Marshall, Texas. We're contemplating a clinic on the Mississippi-Louisiana border to open it. We haven't opened it yet, but the clinics is where we can see them. There's another one. I want to open one near Kinder and Oakdale because we have a need there. That's a personal mission of mine. But that's not opened yet. I'm talking and trying to work it out. But they could get diagnosed there, and then we'd send them to Shreveport for the kind of care that they would need.
So how are these hospitals free? What makes that?
Yeah, what funds them?
Well, late 1800s, a group of Masons wanted to start a branch. Freemasons, do a branch or something different, and that was the beginning of the Shriners. And after they got together and formed this body, they were contemplating what can we do to make a difference, and they were raising money, and then they thought, well, maybe we can do something for children, and that's when I think the 1920 was the first hospital. By this time, they'd raised millions and millions of dollars. First hospital started in Shreveport, and from there they grew to others. And they were mostly concerned at that time with polio. Polio was bad in the 50s and whatever, 60s and whatever. And Danny Thomas was a Shriner, and he was proud of the work that we were doing. And but he saw children with cancer, and he wanted us to branch off, which would have been a great idea, to do orthopedic and cancer. But it's hard sometimes to get old men to change their mind, and they wanted to cure polio first. And Danny said, that's good, you don't need to do that. And then he started St. Jude. He was a Shriner, and he's done wonderful work. And the good news is that he's doing miraculous work. And the better news is that every time we have a child with a cancer, issue, we send it to St. Jude, and we've received a lot of patients from St. Jude. But it's the two great philanthropies in the world, I believe. Yes, it's St. Jude and the Shriners Hospital.
Probably pretty busy, both of them.
Oh,
Imagine.
Lord, yeah, the research hospitals, both of them is tremendous. But it's two great philanthropies.
Mm-hmm.
Our day.
Well, I hate to change gears and switch subjects or whatever, but earlier you talked about being the Grand Master of the state of Louisiana. Did you have any major challenges with that?
Well, there was a lot of arguments going on. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I believed I brought peace and love.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But you'd want more harmony. The challenge was I wanted to repay what was given to my family,
Mm-hmm.
the support, emotional support. After my daddy had passed away, my daddy was young, but he was so proud. He was a Master Mason, and he was a York-Rite Mason, and he loved it. His lodge members, faithful to us,
Mm-hmm.
many years after, they'd ask Joe Rose's boys talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
And they helped me. They helped me during the summers when I'd need to work, because no matter what mother, they'd find work for me. They learned that I was going to law school. They encouraged me to.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, my goal was to repay all the gifts that the Lodge brothers had given me, and I tried my best to accomplish that. You know, I put something like 44,000 road miles on my car, and that's not counting the air miles from here to there and all over the place.
Yeah.
But I tried my best to represent the Grand Lodge, Louisiana.
I believe you. I believe you done it. I believe you have.
Without a doubt it is.
Oh. What's your favorite part about Masonry?
Brotherhood of the fraternity, you know, just
Yeah.
going to a local lodge.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when the Grand Lodge officer, they're supposed to wear the purple and gold, the bling. And I've walked in lodges with that, and they would get nervous. And my first job is to let them know that I'm there to be with them, not to discipline or anything like, you know, it's not my purpose at all. And that's fun.
Yeah.
I know a few times when he was Grand Master, he came to meetings at Sam Todd, and he'd show up and all this stuff. And sometimes they'd be like, "Hey, we gotta receive Brother Terry again." Well, let me find out. Brother Terry'd be like, "I think y'all know who I am. We're not gonna do that tonight."
So you're Blue Lodge and your Shriners and Scottish Rite as well, aren't you?
And York Rite and
And York
York
Rite.
Rite College, and there's a lot of different branches.
That's where the 44,000 miles comes on. Being all them different
Yeah,
ones.
that's land miles, not air.
Yeah.
That's bi-weekly.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah. Oh.
52 years, Brother Terry? And all those years in Masonry and all the experiences you've had, the things that you've done, if there was a message that you could give to anybody that was sitting out there that may be contemplating joining the lodge, but are afraid to ask, what would you tell that person?
Oh, I tell them to ask if Masonry function is not to do anything other than take a good man and through philosophy, association, examples to make them better. Basic premises of fatherhood of God, brotherhood of man, and immortality of the soul, meaning that, you know, fatherhood of God, brotherhood of man, and immortality of the soul, that you're going to go to a better place, I think, if your heart is right and you're right with God. But the other thing is the friendship and the brotherhood of the brethren. And we need good men. And not that we don't have a lot of them, but, you know, we need even more. It's the largest fraternity of God-fearing men in the world. You know, it's somewhere between, I think it's close to 2 million in the United States and like 4 million in the world. And to have someone there, you know, with you, like-minded, it helps, you know, helps you emotionally. So, like, again, you know, my mother served as my mother and my father. You know, I learned a lot from her, you know, at her age. One of the lessons she taught me is, you know, if you run with bad people, you're going to start doing bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, associate yourself with someone bigger, better, or like-minded. The illustrious George Washington said the same thing. You know, be nice to everybody, but associate with good people because it makes it easier to get along, and and to grow you. I've learned a lot from Masons over the years. Again, I started young, but they set good examples, and it helps you to set examples for others. And I have a lot of people have complimented me, which I didn't even know that they knew that I was in the room. Apparently something I said or some way there's an example. Saturday night, the lady asked me to come over and speak to her. And it was at a function here at Habibi. She said that she had a friend that she visited in the old folks home. Said that I was a member of this church. And years ago, I belonged to that church. I moved home because relocated and all that. Said that I was such an inspiration to her and to members of the church. I didn't think so. I found that I'm a Baptist. I sat in the back pew. I had my family there with me and all. But you influence people by your acts, things you do, things you say. And just be careful of what you say. And when you associate with someone that is a questionable character, then they think, well, you must be like him or you wouldn't be with him. I'm not saying be shun, I'm just saying associate yourselves with good people. And in the fraternity, there's a lot of wonderful people. And they are my closest friends.
Mm-hmm. You said a minute ago that we always need good, like-minded, God-fearing men.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think so many people believe that Masonry is a secret religion?
I don't. Well, it's of course it's not a religion, because I got friends of mine that are Catholic or Baptist, Pentecostal. There's all kinds. It's not a religion. It's God fearing. It's God loving. But we don't discuss religion. We have the whole Bible open, and that's where we try to get our life from. It's not a secret. I wouldn't be on a podcast right now talking about it, or we wouldn't have signs on our buildings saying it's Masonic Lodge, and we wouldn't invite people into the lodge all the time. Or we wouldn't be fundraising to help other people in the neighborhood that are destitute. It's misunderstood. If they want to see what Masonry is, don't go to the History Channel and listen to it because that's whoever that was wasn't a Mason. Whoever wrote that, it's just a brotherhood of God-fearing people. Now they do have secrets, but the secrets are secrets of recognition, so that we know whenever we talk to someone who professes to be a Mason, well, they're not a Mason if they don't know what our, the way we stand, the way we shake hands, or whatever. You can tell, whether the person is really a Mason or not, even if you haven't sat in the lodge with them.
How many? It's the last thing I got, because you said something, I can't remember what it was just a minute ago, but the History Channel. So there's not 96 degrees?
No. Not at all.
I was gonna say, because I got a lot left to go. I'm only at 13.
It's taking a leap here to explain something. There's 3 basic degrees, and it's signifies the 3 stages of life: youth, middle age, and old age. And those are the 3 basic degrees in Masonry. And you get that whenever you become a Master Mason. And the other stuff, the other things are lessons. Each one of them teaches a lesson. but there's not 96.
Because there was an old guy on the History Channel one time that he was a 96 degree Master Mason. One of them good ones, you know.
Yeah, well, he's not what you call a regular Mason.
No, I don't know what to call it.
I think he's a store-bought Mason.
Yeah.
You got anything, Dave?
I can't.
We appreciate you coming, Brother Terry.
Yeah, kind of Cold cocked me. I didn't know what I was stepping into.
Before Brother Terry was ever Grand Master, I was Master 2 years at Sam Todd. Brother Terry, Brother Ray Moses, Brother David Scritchfield, Brother Jim Golden. There's probably several other ones. I wouldn't have made those 2 years without that group of guys. They came, they did our degree work for us. They taught us, you know, challenged us to learn our own stuff, which we did. We've gotten a lot better now than we was 10 or 12 years ago. But now Brother Terry and Brother Ray have got me into some spots because I'm like, these two guys right here, my Masonic mentors, they would not lead me wrong. And boom, you're master.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, I've been in some positions too that you got me into. You keep saying these guys got.
I've learned from the best.
Well, I was going to say you were talking to Brother Ray the other day when I got thrown in a spot. You know.
it works out real good forever.
Yeah.
But it's a privilege to get to have. I've been in 16 years, and all these guys, Brother Terry, Brother Ray, Brother Dave, Brother Jim, all of them, they drop of a hat I can call if I need something.
Mm-hmm.
In or out, it don't matter what it is. They'll take care of it. They'll lead me in the way that I need to go. And I know you can get stuff like that outside of this fraternity, but I don't think you can get what we have in Brother Masons outside. Well, I mean, I know you can't, but, you know, there's people that probably think they can. It's a different type of brotherhood than just your buddy outside.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to explain, I guess. But I enjoyed sitting down and talking to you. It's always a blast when I get to hang out with a little bit with Brother Terry. So.
Well, it's a blast for me too. And Sam Todd's doing wonderful, that lodge up there. When I was Grand Master, I told him, if you want to visit a good lodge, go to the intersection of Louisiana Highway 112 and 113. It's a bright light.
When me and Dave had talked about starting this whole podcast thing, we was sitting down, we was thinking about who we wanted to talk to first, and you were busy. But you would have been, you was the top one. I was like, we got to sit down with Brother Terry.
Well, I'm glad I got to do that.
Oh yeah, we are too. And we're hoping that Brother James's video is kind of in an upward trend right now. So, we're hoping, because, sometimes Brother James may think he's famous. Mm-hmm. We're kind of hope that we can get yours to give his a run for the money.
So right now his boy is coming up behind him. So yeah.
We've got the Brown brothers out.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah. Now we can check Brother Terry off. Then we'll have to find somebody else. But it won't be hard to do, I'm sure.
I'll be interested in seeing Brother James.
Well, yeah.
Well, anybody got anything to add before we go ahead and wrap it up?
I don't think so.
Well, with that being said, we want to appreciate you for coming out and letting us sit down with you, and had a blast. And appreciate all y'all for tuning in again. But before we go, I'm going to have to ask you to smack that like button, hit that subscribe button, whack that little bell. Until next time, we'll see you on the Living Level.